West of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Today we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the New York Jets and the Denver Broncos. And off we go from Denver. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Play action. Now Wilson. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. Out to his left. Got his man. It's Dulcich. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. That helps the completion percentage, but not much else. And now it's 3rd and 10. So they don't get anything out of that completion. I guess when you roll out of the pocket like he did there to the left, if you're going to throw it, you better gain some yardage.
Now, can you just hear the old school coaches right now? You threw it for no yards. They don't want the ball in the air unless something positive is going to happen downfield. In that case, they'd rather have the quarterback try and run it himself. Just take care of the ball. If nothing else, just slide and get down.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
Here's Berrios. Now a hit and a loose football.
And that's what friends are for.
Right. Hey, as the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turn it over there, that's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Now Hall to start the drive. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Well, it's hard to have vision as a runner and find a hole when there's nothing but defenders in your way. They stacked that one up really well. But give him credit. Instead of trying to bounce it out and turn it into a big play, which might have turned into a big loss, Kai just took his medicine there and took the 1 yard.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. From the shotgun, Wilson. Got an open man, that's C.J. Uzomah. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Come on, set.
They'll run with Hall. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league and converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one there. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. Elijah Moore, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Wilson. That's complete. It's Elijah Moore. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 34-yard line. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. And when I looked at it, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they come in losers of 2 straight. And remember, they've got the open date on their calendar next weekend. But you think it's vitally important, Charles, that they focus on the task at hand here?
Absolutely, because these players, they know what's coming up. And the difference between taking time off following a win versus doing so on a 3-game losing streak, that's absolutely huge, because they may come back if they lose this game to a facility, and there may be new faces in there and some teammates lost.
Jermaine Johnson credited with that sack.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
It's 3rd and long now for Wilson and the Broncos after that sack.
Hey, alert!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
That certainly looks like nothing to show now from these first 2 possessions. And guess what? When you're on a losing streak, that can lead to a full sense of, here we go again. So on the sidelines, the offensive play callers, quarterback, they've got to get together and dial something up to start their next drive. Otherwise, it could be a long game.
42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done, because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
Being chased out left. He'll air this one out deep for Davis. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big 3rd down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Now it's Wilson. That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least it'll be 4th down. Now the Jets send on Braden Mann to punt. KJ Hamler deep for the Broncos. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And, Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first. And they'll use him out in the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
They give it to Williams, running right. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver first down.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Wilson looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Beck. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it's second down. The Broncos at 3-2, a game over 500 here to start the season. And they come in losers of 2 straight, so trying to turn things around here.
And you just mentioned 2 straight, and when you talk about 2 games, that's nothing to panic about. They feel like they've been a little bit unlucky in the last couple. This is a club that's more than capable of turning things around, and I expect them to play really well here.
We're scoreless after 1. Second quarter about to begin from Denver. It's the Broncos in possession of the football as they are looking at a 2nd down and 6 coming up. Now we give up the middle to Williams. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in a position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And, partner, I know so far, and we're still in the first half, but you love this game as a defensive guy. 0-0. We'll see if the offense can get going on. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Jarquiski Tart. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there. Got a nice interception and set up their offense in great shape.
Sutton reeling it in on the left side. Ball at the 6 here as they work with a 2nd and 2. Wilson. And did he get the feet down? No. They'll say he did not. It's incomplete. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Oh, they were so close. That close to their first points of the game. Just needed to hang on just a second longer, but he couldn't complete the process of the catch through the jostling from the defender.
Block that. Hey.
3rd and 2, now Wilson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Albert O, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Broncos post the first points of the ballgame as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter. The PAT up and good, but hold on a second. There is a flag, and they'll accept that penalty. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And the mile-high air, and full effect as that's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Wilson leading the Jets up now for a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. He'll give it to Hall to start the drive. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. On the tackle, it's Randy Gregory. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Now Wilson. That pass complete to Moore. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Play action. It's Wilson. Open man is Uzama. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And 3rd and 8 now.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. They go play action with Wilson. He finds his man complete. That's Wilson. And he'll only get this to the 47. He needed a few more yards to pick up the first. They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
Now think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me, that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you're throwing this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
Now he dumps this off over the middle. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Javonte Williams with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Broncos are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. And his kick is good, but flags come in. Looks like we're going to get a roughing call here on the follow-through. And that flag accepted. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. They'll start on the ground. Hall. That's to about the 28. Second down coming up.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Wilson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
The defender certainly didn't forget about him leaking out of the backfield. There's a guy ready and waiting to pick him up in coverage, and that throw had no shot.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. To throw is Wilson. He's got the connection to Moore. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They go play action now. Wilson. This pass out wide to Hall. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. And that's good for a gain of 6. And it's 2nd down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Wilson. And check down complete to Hall. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25. The Jets are going to use the 1st of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Again, Wilson. And this one is incomplete.
But there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. Now Wilson. He gets it underneath to Hall. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
But they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
From the red zone now, here's Wilson on 1st down. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now it's Wilson. Touchdown! Elijah Moore as the first half is winding down. And the Jets are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. Josh Lambo now for the point after. And he pushed it right. It's no good. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with an 8-point lead, probably not too much of an impetus to try and do too much here. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we have reached halftime here in what's an 8-point game. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Jets going to get the football first, and they trail as well as we get back underway in this second half. And that one carries out of the side of the end zone here, so it's a touchback and bring it out to the 25. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown.
Well, the defense obviously could not have drawn up a better start to the second half. They're holding on to that slim lead, just looking for a stop. Not only do they get the stop, Charles, they get the pick 6.
Another example that life comes at you fast, doesn't it? One play ago, they're defending a slim lead coming out of the break. Now they're one more stop away from thinking about a possible put-away drive.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
Out of the gun, they run it with Hall. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. Credit the tackle to Darius Phillips.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
From just shy of midfield, Wilson. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Ronald Darby. And the Broncos will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. Well, there's two sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive
But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard, but also you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player, you have to know the situation. And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays. So they go pass, now they go run, and 2 plays resulting in really nice pickups.
Certainly sounds like a 50-50 deal, doesn't it? Sounds like great balance. Well, you know what all those coaches have told us over the years, Brandon, that balance is? It means doing what you want to, when you want to. That play calling is working very well for them right now.
This one swung out to Williams.
Touchdown, Broncos!
Javonte Williams.
He scored on the ground and through the air.
And the Broncos take a 3-touchdown lead.
McManus now for the extra point. He's got it, and the lead swells. It's 28-6. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard. He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Off the play fake, here's Wilson. He finds his man, complete. It's Wilson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Play action. Now Wilson. Got an open man. That's C.J. Uzomah.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 39-yard line. And my goodness, another interception. The 30, 10, 5, and he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown.
And Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half. And for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick 6.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. And as confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD. And if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score.
And now here's another interception.
And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
Up the middle, it's Williams. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes being a linebacker in the middle of the field is kind of like being a doctor on the field. You got to make the right diagnosis. Here he correctly sets his run and shoots through to make the play in the backfield.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll stay on the ground with Williams. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with this third down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And this offense on third down today, they've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10.
Let's look, double count right here, double count.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And just looking ahead, it would appear that that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this one, though probably not one that they want to chew on. A poor performance from start to finish.
They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
At the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
He has a man. It's complete to Wilson.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. A nice pickup of 23 on the third down conversion.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage. That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They need to make up.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the Broncos are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line.
And with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. So the completion good for 7 there. And that'll bring up second down.
The gain of 7 brings up 2nd and 3 at the 39-yard line.
Now a handoff. Here's Williams. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. That's caught left side by Judy. And he will have the Broncos first down by about a yard as they're able to convert on 3rd and 2.
Well, I'm sure he likes his performance a little bit better than last week. He had the 3 interceptions here, none in the 4th quarter, and he's got his guys in front.
Guaranteed he put in a tremendous amount of work this week, but maybe the matchup is just better for him. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. It's almost like those golfers. Certain courses fit their eye, and they like what they see, and other courses, as soon as they tee it up, they know they have no shot. Maybe that's the difference for him. Last week, no. This week, a big yes.
Oh, Wilson going to throw. He finds his man, complete. It's Beck.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
Good short hands there from a guy not accustomed to catching a whole lot of passes. But how about the way he was able to pull that one in and pick up good yardage?
This was a really nice display, Charles, of